It's day 44 of lessons from my mom's camera where I there watch my mom's videos from back in 2018 when she would do 2018 onwards to be exact, where when she would do these challenges. She's on a 77-day cycle for this particular she's on a 77-day challenge for this particular cycle, where she wakes up early, takes a walk before breakfast, checking her phone and coffee. I'm really excited, by the way, to hear what her message is for today. Ooh, rhyming. Because I have embarked on my own experience or journey here on you, not just on YouTube, but in life. And it's so interesting because I feel calm and resolute with what I'm doing, but there's oh my gosh, the voices of the inner critic are so loud. The voices of judgment, the inner critic, failure, rejection, judgment. Yeah, a lot are coming up. And so I'm so curious what my mama's going to say for today and what her message is. Let's hear it out.
Good morning and welcome to day 44 of my 77-day challenge. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Oregon, and my food for thought for the day comes from a good friend, author Tom Marcoux, who has written an incredible 45 books. This one comes from one of his books, and he says, when you are prepared for the worst, you often get the best. And I resonate with that. I really do. And if you're, some of you out there, many of you out there may also have that experience. When you are ready, when you prepared for everything that could happen, that could possibly happen, then everything goes really well. I can think of so many instances throughout my life. I remember when the kids were young and we used to go to the playground, I would always pack my little handy medical kit, with Band-Aid and iodine and alcohol and swabs and all that, and ointment in case they got stung by whatever. I think for the 4 or 5 years that we were going to that playground, we never had an incident ourselves, but it always made me feel good knowing that in case somebody slipped, fell, had a scratch, got stung, then I would have whatever it was that was needed. And I recall there was a kid, somebody else's kid, I didn't even know who. He fell, he slipped and he was crying because he had a cut. And I said, come here, little boy. And I kind of cleaned the cut up and nicely put some ointment and, made it look really good. And he continued playing. And later on, it turned out his mom was the niece or the daughter, somebody that I knew, and she was so impressed. And Norma, shout out to you. Anyway, there's so many other instances, I think, throughout our lives when we consider that being prepared, I think, also gives us a mindset to be aware. And then we end up focusing on the best, on the good, because we're aware of what could happen if we did not work towards that. And I know that sounds almost paradoxical. Friends tell me, but you're supposed to be an optimist. Why would you be expecting that something could happen, something bad could happen? And I respond, I do, because I'm an optimist. Therefore, I want to be ready just in case things don't go right. Then I am ready. I'm prepared for the worst. And what happens is then I get the best. And I think that's what the NASA does. They have all the preparations just in case something doesn't go right. That's what any project manager does. And so in case something doesn't go right, they're ready, and then everything goes well. One final example, because this one was awesome. When we were closing the Timex factory in Thailand, we anticipated everything that could go wrong, absolutely everything. We even planned where some of the executives would stand kind of near like the fire extinguisher in case somebody went crazy, and how we would be beside somebody who might go ballistic and all that. And the announcement went really well. And that evening, after we'd announced that we were closing the company, and we'd said, we have interviews planned for you, we've got this, we've got this, we had anticipated everything that could go wrong. We sat there having a drink, relaxing, just chilling, and somebody said, well, that went really well, didn't it? And all the preparations for what could have gone wrong, we didn't need it. And I said, yeah, but guess what? If we hadn't prepared, chances are something would have gone wrong. So that's great food for thought. And always think in terms of what could go wrong and get ready for it. And chances are everything will go really well. You'll get the best. Thanks, Tamarku, for that great thought. And I will be sharing a lot more of other stuff that you've written over the next few days. For now, I'm heading out for my walk. Again, good morning to my friends on my side of the world. Good afternoon, good evening if you're on the other side. Have a wonderful weekend if it's still a weekend for you, or if you're down in Asia or Australia or the Middle East, then it's tomorrow, it's Monday. So have a wonderful week ahead of you, or have a wonderful weekend. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow.
Cutie mama with her red razorback and headband. I forgot what they said. Prepare yourself for the worst so that you can get the best. Wait, there's nuance in the syntax. Wait, prepare for the what was it?
With that,
When you are prepared for the worst, you often get the best. Let's start a 2-minute impromptu speech. When you are prepared for the worst, you often get the best. I was crying on the floor, asking my friends for a hug, freaking out about the voices in my head, anxiety. And my friend, when I finally calmed down, my friend invited me over to the couch, and we just sat there in kind of like this not somber, more like a calm, serene, there you go, a serene state. And the reason why I say serene, because he just looked over at me and said, you know what? I've felt that too. I've had those moments. And I eventually decided to talk to that voice, to talk to that version of myself, and really have a conversation about my fears, my anxiety, everything, all the thoughts that would surface. I said, you know what, let me sit here and hear you out. What do you want to say? And then eventually, at the end of everything that he listened to, he then said, you know what, if all of this happened, I'll still be okay. And I guess after that point, it's like it just liberates you from the fear, from the anticipation, and it just allows you to be present in the moment, because no matter what, you've already confronted it and know that at the end of it, you're still okay. And it reminds me of the quote that my mom just shared, and it actually is very timely yet again. I think you shouldn't be surprised anymore that I say that, for what I am experiencing right now, and exactly why I have this specific journal designated for those conversations that I am having with myself. The thoughts, the fears, the inner critic, oh, they get pretty, the words, the thoughts that come out. But just having a conversation and listening and allowing. Sometimes all it needs to happen is be heard, be accepted, and acknowledged, given the space to surface as well, instead of like constantly repressing and pushing back, and even worse, maybe not even repressing and pushing back, but not then allowing yourself to do the things you want to do because you've taken heed and you've listened to these, you've allowed these fears and anxiety to dictate your next actions. And for me, this will be the space where I have a conversation with those thoughts and voices, and I say, hey, you know what, I hear you, but I'm even gonna ask, you know what, I'm gonna try that out my next conversation. I'm gonna ask, hey, you know what, I heard you, but this is what we're gonna do, just out of curiosity, are you in? I'm pretty sure they're still gonna say I'm in. They're gonna be like, yeah, let's go. So yeah, we are definitely in motion, and the ball is rolling. And yeah, thank you, Mama, for the message for today. I hope for anyone else tuning in that it resonates and somehow it helps you navigate whatever you're going through. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 45. Bye.